Hello and welcome to the 7th episode of Filmy Kahani, Anushka ki Subani with me, Anushka Arora. Now, if you've been following this show, you would have seen that we have covered some great Hindi shows and the fabulous Pakistani dramas. Now today, I wanted to review a movie for you. We all know how huge the South film industry is, so it was only fair that I picked out Vijay the Master. Like any good filmmaker, Lokesh Kanagaraj knows that it takes a fearsome antagonist to turn a protagonist into a hero. Now here we have a 17-year-old Bhavani, who is played by Vijay Sethupathi. Now he witnesses his family get murdered by his father's rivals. He is then forced to take the blame and is confined into a juvenile detention facility where he is tortured mercilessly. As a consequence, he develops a ruthless and a brash persona. Sorry, I couldn't help myself but dance to the famous Vati song. Vati coming! Now, back to the review. After Bhavani's setup in the movie, it kind of sets up the stage really nicely for him as his protagonist JD, who is played by Vijay, to make his entrance. In fact, in classic masala movie fashion, JD's introduction comes right after a character wonders if they would be able to get a brave man to fix things and save the boys from a life of crime. Now JD is a professor in a college in Chennai, the kind of professor who has a hip flask ready in his pocket, an advice ready on his lips, and a kada ready in his arm for a punch. Naturally, the students adore him and the management wants to get rid of him, and circumstances lead to him to sign up for a teaching role at the observation home where Bhavani runs the show. Can this man, who has managed to create a following amongst youngsters through love, overcome the ghosts of his past and find it in himself to take on the criminal who has built an army of youngsters through fear? Just like Petter, Master sees its new age filmmaker trying his hand at commercial cinema with a mass hero. Lokesh manages to pass a test. Even if Master is more of a Vijay film than a Lokesh film, what Lokesh brings to the film is a filmmaking flair. The scenes featuring the hero and the villain have distinct visual tones, cool blues for JD and fiery red for Bhavani. We then have JD in the sunlit area. He succeeds in building up the aura around his stardom with effective references from Vijay's previous hits. A kabaddi scene set inside the juvenile home is a great throwback to Gilly. Anirudh's use of the Gilly theme recalls a similar approach from Darbar. Now the pre-intermission portion is its callback to the famous Thalapathy scene. In the end, it's the charismatic performances of Vijay and Vijay Sethupathi that keep us rooting. Vijay dances like a dream and puts his cool to the very good effect in the college scenes. He also manages to sell the moments where he has to offer advice. With many heroes, these portions might have come across a bit too preachy, but here they just feel right. And Vijay Sethupathi, he manages to steal the show all over again. His casual acting style only elevates Bhavani's cruelty, even though it is tonally removed from the fabulous intensity with which Mahindran plays the character's teenage self. Now the final confrontation between the two actors has a couple of winning moments, helping the film to end on a very high note. Watch Vijay the Master streaming now on Z5.